Good. So whenever y'all are ready, just let your camera know.
Ready.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alex Briseño. These are my colleagues, Mike Hamlin and David Corona. We're going to be introducing you today to teleconferencing. Okay, our topics of discussion for today are, we're going to define teleconferencing, we're going to tell you why it's important and when to use it, we're going to tell you how to conduct teleconferences, we're going to give you some do's and don'ts, and we're going to talk about some software that you can use for teleconferencing, and then we'll close with a summary and open up for questions. All right, so let's start with defining teleconferencing. Basically, and the dictionary defines teleconferencing as a business meeting or educational setting conducted among participants in different locations via telecommunications equipment. So basically, that's using a telephone, and your other group is on a telephone, and you're calling each other. That's teleconferencing. Okay? So why it's important and when to use it? It's easy interaction. Okay, if I'm in Mexico and Mike's in Canada, would it be best if, you know, we make flight arrangements and meet each other? Probably not for the company, probably not in the best interest of the company. So we can call each other. Okay, easy way to communicate. We're communicating and no balls have been dropped at this point. It's efficient and productive. Okay, what if we can't make it to the other side of the country because of a storm, or because, you know, the budget doesn't allow us to? All right, this is still the productive way to continue communication without interruptions. Efficient and productive. And the last one, of course, all of our bosses would love to hear, is that it saves money. Okay, I would rather us teleconference than have to fly somebody across the world just to sit in a meeting. Okay, that's why it saves money, and actually it can save you a lot of money. If you think about all the costs that go into sending somebody, you know, across the state or across the country or across the world. Okay, so I'll be followed by my colleague, Mike Hamlin.
All right, we're talking a little bit about how to develop it, how to develop the plan. As we know, planning is key for everything. First thing we're going to do when we get the notice that we're going to have this, and we're going to be the presenters, is develop our agenda. And then we're going to, once that's developed, we're going to send out invitations to the participants that we feel they need to go to. We'll actually send out an agenda itself and a copy of the presentation slides, if any, so they can follow along. Since there isn't a video that will accompany this, they're going to need something to follow. We need to give them clear instructions on how to get in contact with you. You need you need the phone number, you need the PIN if required, depending on the service that you use. Most of them require a PIN to access your particular call. And a little reminder of some of the etiquette that we want to use in conducting it. We don't want folks feeling offended. We don't want getting people mad. We want a pleasant, as pleasant as possible experience. Okay. We want to make sure all our technology works. The phone works. The mute's on your phone. And hopefully your participants are going to do that as well. Make sure everything on their end works. The microphones, the phones itself. If you're using some type of a bridge, that works as well. If you're using a security system, that works. You want to make sure you use a landline if possible. It's the clearest connection that you can have. Cell phones are okay if it's as a last resort. As an example, I had a teleconference, one of our stand-up meetings, and I was at a working breakfast at Elmer's. And here I'm sitting on, I got my earbuds in, I got my phone going, and they can't hear a word I'm saying because all the background noise. Even though I'm muted when I'm not supposed to be, when I'm talking, they hear everything else, they hear the waitresses, they hear all of the restaurant noise. We want to kind of reduce our background noise. If we're in a conference room, and hopefully we are, close the door. You can tell right now just by closing the doors here, we isolate ourselves from all the noise that's out there. Even though it's not a lot, it's still there. And most importantly, use the restroom before you start. Some of the etiquette that goes along with this is going to do is always be courteous. You know, don't yell. You may have to raise your voice a little bit, but don't yell. I know there's a fine line between there. Okay. If you're the presenter, you better make sure you're ahead of time. And if you're a participant in a teleconference, be there at least on time, at the very least on time, not a few minutes early. We always shot for 5 minutes ahead of time. And that always got us over all the introductions and all of the pleasantries. Okay. All right, if you're a participant, make sure if you're not talking, you mute your phone. I sat through many a meeting and all I heard was all the heavy breathing. It's just, you know, after about 10 minutes, that's kind of annoying. Always make sure you're prepared, especially if you're the presenter. Make sure you got all your slides and all your information that you're gonna put out. And if you're a participant and you are going to be speaking, or you're not just soaking in the information, make sure you have your information all lined up that you're going to put out when it's your turn. Okay. Make sure you turn off your cell phone. Nothing more distracting than during it you hear in the background of your cell phone going off. If you're a presenter, you're normally always your phone's always unmuted anyway. And for participants, identify yourself before you speak. That way the presenter doesn't have to interrupt you and say, who's speaking now? Okay. And some of the don'ts, yes, this tends to be a problem. Folks going down the wrong rat hole and go wander off and go into different subjects. So you have 2 or 3 different topics going on. Make sure if you're a presenter, make sure that you have your agenda in front of you. You stick to it. You don't let the participants wander off too far. And again, don't show up late, especially if you're a presenter. Don't hold any sidebars. You know, participants have a tendency to hold sidebars on their own, especially if they don't either have forgotten to or don't have the ability to mute their phones. I don't know any phones currently on the market that you can't mute, but you never know. One thing we've always heard about is never use foul or inappropriate language. You know, dropping the F-bomb is not cool. All right. Okay. All right, we've got we have a little video here to drive all this stuff home.
Oh, oops.
I
messed that up.
We want to avoid our cell phone use, as we mentioned before. And again, time is money. Everybody's time is important. Don't waste it. Don't waste everybody's time. Right. Now we have a video to drive all this stuff home.
Joining conference now. talk about. Alright, listen, whoever just called in, can you mute your phone?
What?
Mute your phone.
I can't hear you. This conference line's really noisy.
Mute your phone. So today we're going to talk about new social media strategies. Sam's going to lead. Sam?
Okay, so we're looking to leverage our existing social media.
We can't hear you.
Providing interactive experiences.
No. Get close to the microphone. Don't drag the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I've got a couple of ideas about how to make ourselves more visible on some of these platforms.
Hey, DC?
We're mobile first, but we're social firster. We want
DC?
I mean, I'm saying Facebook, I'm saying Twitter, I'm saying Pinterest, yeah, Snapchat.
Hey, DC?
Ella. Yeah.
DC, your mic is too close to the speaker. We're getting feedback.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, well, adding on to that point.
Actually, I think it looks like we're at time. So good thoughts, everybody. And I'll see you guys all at next week's conference call.
Okay, and today's presentation has been brought to you by MeetingBridge. No, I'm just playing. It hasn't been brought to you, but MeetingBridge is a software that you can use for teleconferencing. It's got a free dial-in number and an entry code. There's also no reservation, so you don't have to say, hey, I'm going to have a teleconference at this time. You can have a conference whenever you want. And you get support whenever you need it and access 24/7, so that's really great. And for free, you can use up to 100 participants, which is really good. And other than that, I just want to go ahead and just summarize everything. So teleconferencing, basically it's just like talking on the phone. Typically there's a number that you dial into, and you put in a PIN and you can join a teleconferencing. And it's a lot better than everything else because, it's worked, it's not the Jetsons. And then, of course, the do's and don'ts. So I guess let's see if you guys are paying attention. What are some things not to do? I'll take about 3. Max.
Don't have the microphone too close to the teleconferencing for feedback.
Good. Hank.
Don't eat.
Don't eat. Excellent. Elaine.
Mute if you're not talking.
Right, muted if you're not talking. Great. And then, of course, the last thing I told you about, MeetingBridge. So I'm going to go ahead and take this time and open it up to any questions. Does anyone have any questions for me?
What
Christine.
is the website where you can download that software you showed?
Yeah, good point. You can go to meetingbridge.com. Yeah,
Okay.
you can go check it out there. Any other questions? All right, well, that concludes our presentation. Thank you, everybody.